So a few months ago, I made a video about the Boston Bruins on whether or not I thought they were Stanley Cup contenders, and my answer to that was yes. But now I think that question is going to be asked a lot more than it was even just a few months ago. So let's look at some notable unrestricted free agents for the Boston Bruins. They have David Krejci, Taylor Hall, Sean Kuraly, Mike Reilly, Kevin Miller, Tuukka Rask, Jaroslav Halak, and Jared Tenorti. So there's been a lot of talk that Rask is going to retire after his contract is up, and now we'll finally get to see whether or not that's going to happen this offseason. For me, if the Bruins lose Tuukka Rask, that's really going to change the dynamic of their team. I know Rask gets dumped on a lot by Boston Bruins fans, and sometimes rightfully so, but I think all in all, he's been a very good goalie, more than serviceable for them throughout the years. And if they lose Rask, that takes out a big chunk of them being able to keep the puck out of their net. And if Boston can't keep the puck out of their net, they have a hard time winning, because I find they do have a tendency, despite having some skilled players, they have a tendency of not scoring all that much every once in a while. And I think that's, it's part of them lacking a little bit of depth maybe offensively. But guys like Jake DeBrusk didn't step up. I mean, guys like, Charlie Coyle, he wasn't very good either in the playoffs. Guys like that need to be better for the Boston Bruins going forward. So the cap space that the Boston Bruins finished with was $373,569. I mean, you can't even sign one player for that nowadays. So let's just put it this way. The Bruins are going to have a lot of housekeeping to do this offseason. Maybe you bring back Taylor Hall on like a 6-year, $5.5 to $6 million contract. I think Hall is going to have to take a bit of a pay cut if he wants to stick around in Boston. There's no question about that. Taylor Hall, I thought he played well down the stretch in the regular season after the Bruins acquired him. I thought he played well the first 2 or 3 games maybe of the playoffs. And then after that, I thought he just kind of faded out, and that was something that definitely hurt the Bruins as well. Mike Reilly, I thought he was very good in the playoffs. He added some good puck moving back there. He's a good skating defenseman. He's more of an offensive type of defenseman. So I think for Boston, maybe you try and bring him back too. I'm going to make a bold prediction here. I'm going to go ahead and say that they re-sign Taylor Hall and they don't re-sign David Krejci, and the longtime Bruin is going to be playing somewhere else next fall. Jaroslav Halak will probably be leaving as well too, as I'm sure he wasn't very happy being relegated to third string duty, as the youngster Jeremy Swayman kind of stole the net from him, or at least stole the backup seat from him on the bench. But for Swayman, I don't think he's quite ready to jump to being the number one goalie yet. I think the Bruins do need to re-sign Rask. If you take Krejci off the books, that's $7 million freed up right there. Maybe you keep Taylor Hall at like a 6-year deal worth $5.5 to $6 million. I mean, Hall's definitely going to have to take a bargain to stay in Boston. And I think Sean Kuraly, he's probably gone. Maybe you keep Mike Reilly. Kevin Miller's probably gone. Tenorti's probably gone. Kuraly, good player, good serviceable fourth liner, one of the better ones in the league. If he's off your team, is it the end of the world? Not really. No offense to him, but I mean, guys like that, you can easily fill that spot, in my opinion. I think Boston's going to end up trading Jake DeBrusk just because he had a very underwhelming playoffs, a very underwhelming regular season. He started off the playoffs somewhat hot in the first couple games, and it was looking like he was going to have a renaissance in the playoffs and make up for the bad regular season that he had, but that wasn't the case, as he just absolutely faded out after that. And with the type of money he's making, if Boston can trade him out and get a good deal for him, that would free up some more cap space, and maybe they can find a way to keep both Krejci and Taylor Hall if that's the case. But this Boston team is not getting any younger. Patrice Bergeron is 35. I believe he turns 36 in a month from now, roughly. And David Krejci, he's 35. Marchand's on the wrong side of 30. Pasternak, young, still got a lot of good years ahead of them. But the majority of their players are either late 20s, early to mid 30s. So the Boston Bruins, I mean, I don't know. For me, I kind of looked at it as this year was maybe their final chance to make a legit run at the Cup. I think they'll continue to be a playoff team for at least the next couple of years. But I don't know if they're that big major threat to win a Stanley Cup like they have been the last 3 or 4 years. But Boston has shown an ability in the past to sort of retool and get young on the fly. That's what they did after 2014 when it looked like their cup window had officially closed for a long time there. And then all of a sudden, 3 or 4 years later, they reopened a new 3 to 4 year window for themselves that they just, in my opinion, completed now. And for the Boston Bruins, maybe they can do that again. Maybe they'll kind of go through some mediocre years here the next 2 to 3 years, and then maybe they retool on the fly, get some good young players. But by the time that happens, though, guys like Bergeron is probably going to be like, 39, 40. Marchand's going to be like 36, 37. So, I mean, these guys, they'll be a lot older than what they were. They were still in a decent enough age when Boston began this new short window back in 2017-18. But by the time they open up another new window, let's say, or try to open up another new window with some young blood in the lineup, these guys will be probably too old to be as effective as they were. So I think Boston might have to go down the road of a full rebuild soon. I don't know. You never know. The Bruins always seem to be counted out the last couple of years or whatever, and they just never cease to surprise. They just keep being a cup contender, it seems like, every year. So maybe next year they come back, they have a great year, maybe they go to the conference final or they win the cup or something like that. But I'm going to go ahead and assume that's not going to be the case, and I say that yes, the Boston Bruins window has closed indeed, and I don't think they'll be a true cup contender for at least the next 5 to 6 years probably. Those are my thoughts on the Boston Bruins and their championship chances. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. If you're a Boston fan, please don't be offended by this. I'm just telling you what I think. I don't know if the Bruins have what it takes anymore. They're getting older. Father Time, he doesn't discriminate against anyone, even against the greats of the game like a Bergeron or a Marchand or someone like that. So for Boston, like I said, I think the window is closed, and it's been a great run for them though. And even though this window's only been 3 or 4 years, really, let's be honest, the Boston Bruins have been one of the best teams in the league since, I don't know, around 2008, 2009 probably. They started this big run officially. So like I said, let me know all that and more in the comments down below. Please like and subscribe and share this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll talk to you again soon.